Hey everyone, you're listening to The Public Affair with me, Andrew G. I see someone different every episode, but do me a favor, keep it between us. Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Andrew G, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Public Affair. I am so excited to be having this next guest on the show. I had to make his ass wait, because I need to test their patience. I'm going to make these men wait. I don't care, all right? If you want to be on The Public Affair, you're going to wait. Just like you had me waiting to come to my house when I hit you up on Grindr. No, listen, you guys, thank you so much for all the love and support that you guys continue to show the show. I truly appreciate it. To Rogue Media Network and everybody producing this episode, thank you guys again so much. I really appreciate it. Now, before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just a few of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by David Santabanez with Alinea Real Estate. He is the #1 sales agent in his office, remaining the #1 sales agent in his office. That's right. He's going to be buy a home or sell your property. Make sure you follow him on Facebook at David with Alinea or call the number on the screen for all your real estate needs. Se habla español también. Listen, it's never too late to start looking into a brand new home. He's going to help you figure everything out step by step and make sure you're involved in every step of the process. To David Santabanez, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Anika Armstrong with Armstrong's Bayou Cafe, serving the most authentic Cajun cuisine with a wide selection of signature crab cakes, pasta, seafood, and more. Now, listen, there's not a pasta there that I don't like getting. It's absolutely delicious, every single thing. If you like baked potatoes, she's got amazing seafood baked potatoes that are just to die for. It's like that thing that you just eat and you want more. I don't know what she's putting in there, but it's delicious. Listen, she's got locations at Union Hall, and Union Grove location is coming soon. Follow on Facebook at Armstrong's Bayou Cafe Corporation. Anika, thank you so much for being a longtime sponsor of The Public Affair. Of course, the Blue Star RV Services with Manny Guerrero, mobile RV tech, who can fix all RVs. That's right, I'm talking about travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and so much more, even food trucks. Because, y'all be having them food trucks and they be breaking down, right? No AC, no nothing. He deals with the warranty company, so you don't have to deal with it, okay? Listen, him and his team, they're reliable. They're 100%. They're going to be right there. Follow on Facebook, call the number on the screen, Manny Guerrero, Blue Star RV Services, and he might be a future guest on the show. We'll see. I'm excited, right? Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, I can't go on without thanking Soko Soccer Academy with Dominic Gutierrez and Ariana Gutierrez, located at 3304 Franklin Avenue. That's right, they're offering team, small group, and individual skills training. They also have elite skills training to make your kids star athletes, and they train with pros like George De Leon. Make sure you guys follow on Facebook at Soko Soccer Academy. The Public Affair also remains a very, very proud sponsor of the Soko Soccer teams, coached by my good friend, Coach Mauro Maldonado. Keep doing your thing, bro. So proud of you. He actually just won an award yesterday.
He did.
Yes, the Waco Empowerment Award, him and amongst other people. So congratulations to you and to Soko Soccer Academy. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. All right, guys, like I said, I've been making this guy wait, right? I've been making him wait. Listen, I wanted to have you on the show.
Did you?
Yeah, no, I swear to God, I did.
You did make me wait.
I did make you wait because I have to feel like when the time is right. You know how many people waited like years? You know what I mean?
I can imagine.
I did. And so, I don't like to rush things. You know what I mean? Like, I knew I wanted Jay Snider on the show, but I just needed to sit on Jay Snider. And now my next guest on The Public Affair is Jay Snider, up-and-coming music artist. He mentioned alternative hip-hop, which I was going to say, you're not really a rapper to me. I never looked at you as a rapper.
Right.
Yeah, but the music is, and we'll get to the music in a sec, but, I always liked your music because it did sound different. You know what I mean? It was very unique. I've had lots of rappers on the show, lots of singers. Right. And, while everything kind of sounds unison, I felt like yours was a little bit more,
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate that. I definitely take pride in the fact that I feel that way, too.
Yeah.
I feel like the music is a lot different than everything else that you're hearing around here now.
And we met on social media how long ago has it been since we met? When did you first slide in my DMs to come on the show?
Oh.
Yeah.
For the show?
For the show, yeah.
Oh.
For the show, yes. It's always hard to tell because
I think it was about a year and a half ago.
Okay, because I get one music artist on the show, and then all the rappers are in my DMs.
Right.
And if I charged everybody to be on the show, I would be rich. I wouldn't have to work another day in my life.
You wouldn't, but can you blame them?
No, I mean, I think it's an honor that they want to pay me for an interview, right? I think it says a lot about my skill as an interviewer. But I don't know. Like, I just felt like if I charged you $300 and put $300 in my pocket just for the interview, and let's say you suck, right?
Right.
It's not worth it to me. Like, that's not worth it to me. I can blow through that $300 as soon as this interview is over. Then I put out an episode that the content's crap.
I get
Do you see what I'm saying?
I get that.
Yeah.
Well, it's quality over quantity.
Absolutely. And that's how I feel about it. And congratulations to you. You were one of the speakers at yesterday's Waco Empowerment Conference. Shout out to Vera Castillo, who put on that event. And, I thought it was really cool that you were on the panel. You were there the first year, but you weren't a speaker the first co-ed one.
No, I was just a vendor. I'd been invited to the first one by Vera to come in and just kind of set up and tell people that were in the crowd kind of about what I do. But it didn't come with any kind of a stage time.
Sure.
So.
I got you. Yeah, but we still squeezed you in, and then you were a great speaker. Shout out to you. Shout out to B. Renee. B. Renee was there. She was a guest on the show.
She was great.
Kelvin Robinson, he was there too. Shout out to him. Yes. And then, I really do want to give a shout out to they gave out Waco Empowerment Award awards yesterday.
Right.
And so, Tiffany Vidania was on the show. She was one of the recipients. So big shout out to her because, she really does a lot of great things in South Waco. And, I really felt like she was like the cornerstone.
Yeah. I remembered your friend that you had brought on. I remembered him whenever he came up and he got that award. I actually stopped him on the way.
Oh, you're talking about Mauro Maldonado?
Mauro, yeah. I stopped him Mauro and I was like, "Hey, didn't you speak last year?" And he was like, "Yeah, I was there." I was like, "Dude, I remember you, man. You were great."
That's so
I was actually really, I was proud to like see him again, and I thought it was really cool that he won.
Yeah, I was really happy when they elected him to win that award too.
Yeah.
Like, it really meant a lot because I really see him. He really is empowering.
Yeah,
I feel like everybody that won that award yesterday really represented what empowerment was. So shout out to Tiffany Vidania, Mauro Maldonado. Shout out to KC Charms. Hopefully they'll be on this show soon. We'll see.
KC Charms' story is actually pretty cool.
I know, but don't tell me. Shut up. I want to do it on the show.
Oh.
I don't know this story. I don't know the whole story, but yeah. Fun fact, I did invite them on the show.
Gotcha.
I invited them on the show yesterday, so I don't know when it's coming out, but yes, yeah. But
one day.
I felt like all of them were amazing recipients. So big shout out to all of them, honestly.
So they might be here in like a year and a half.
No, shut up. Don't do me. Listen, anyway. So listen, today's episode is all about Jay Snider. Like I said, you are a music artist. I've been following you on social media. I've been following your music. I do like your music. I had some of the song. Rehab was a song that stuck out to me.
Absolutely.
When it came out. And, I liked the song Rehab because I am somebody that was involved. I knew somebody who was involved with substance abuse.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so it's a hard thing. I've never done drugs or anything like that, but it's hard to see somebody be addicted to that. It's hard to see somebody go through that. And so that's why I really I gravitated towards your music. But before we get into that, can you talk to us a little bit about your life growing up and, where you're from and all that?
Well, so I was born and raised here in Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
Went to Midway for a little bit and then hit the outskirts out in McGregor. Was always into a lot of sports and things like that. Music was always a passion though. Like I remember even being little, my mom used to have to turn up the radio in the car because I'd be in the back screaming, tone deaf as hell, but I was screaming the hell out of music.
For sure.
And but overall, I didn't have a bad childhood. I didn't have a rough childhood.
Sure.
I found out kind of news that was very shocking to me as I got into my teenage years about my childhood, like when it comes to paternity of my father and things like that, and how I actually got the Snider last name.
Oh, okay.
But
wait, so what was going on there? He wasn't your real dad?
No. So biologically, I'm not actually a part of the Snider family, but I was adopted before I was born into the Snider family.
Oh, okay, got you.
So my father and shout out Lee, love you, Dad.
What's up, Lee? I was just saying hi.
Yeah,
I can say hi.
you can text him back, Dad. It's
all right.
Yeah,
it's all good. Yeah.
But no, so I found out as I got older that he met my mother when she was pregnant, and love conquers all things.
For sure, for sure.
And he never turned his head on me. He never brought it to light.
He just raised you.
Yeah.
Have you ever met your biological dad?
I did one time.
Oh.
One time.
What was that like?
Ooh, that's a bad story.
Yeah, we got go ahead. No, do you want to talk about it?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So, again, I was about 15,
right,
almost 16 when I found out about my father's situation.
Sure.
And at that time, you're getting your permit hours and trying to get your license and stuff. Well, my biological father, he was out in Florida. And so I got like the majority of my drive time hours for my license by driving with my mother to Florida. Was extremely excited about it. We booked a month out to like go out there, me to get to know him and catch up. And unfortunately, I saw him the first night I was there. Like right as I showed up, he came in and he met my mother and I for dinner. His intentions were not to really get to know me as much as it was to try to rekindle with my mother.
Oh, I see.
And when that got shut down, I didn't see him the rest of the month.
So it was just, oh, okay, so he had his own ulterior motives.
Yeah, absolutely.
You never tried to reach out? Do you want to reach out and kind of talk about it? Or how do you feel about that?
There was a point in my life where I felt like reaching out. I wanted to get to know him. I wanted to get to know like my background or what was going on with the family. But as I got older, life taught me a lot of lessons about blood not making family.
That's right.
And I got to a point to where I had so much loyalty and dedication to the people that were there for me that it just seemed, I don't know, redundant, I guess, to reach out and say, hey, what's your life like? Honestly, I don't care, and I'm a father myself. And so if I want to know what's going on in my kid's life, so I'm going to actively go and try to figure out what's going on in my kid's life.
Yeah, totally.
I'm not going to wait until 15, 16 years
I see.
plus. And if you can do that, I don't know that I can have the respect for you.
I got you. So you don't. So you even want to have a conversation. You're over it.
Yeah,
you're over it. Did it affect you at all though? The neglect.
When I found out about the situation, it affected me because at that time I was getting really close to the Snider family.
Right.
And at the time my parents had actually gotten divorced when I was 9. And
this is your Lee Snider and your mother.
And
Okay, yeah. I'm trying to keep it together.
There's a lot. There's
a lot going on here. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so they divorced when I was 9. So at about 15, I was spending a lot of extra time. So it wasn't just like every Wednesday and every other weekend. It was like every Tuesday, Thursday, and every weekend. Like I'm trying to be over there all the time. And then it kind of got just kind of thrown on me that the situation isn't what you think it is.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to handle the situation. Was I supposed to be mad at the people who told me about it?
Right.
Were they trying to do it maliciously?
Sure.
Does that change the way that I feel about the Snider family?
Yeah.
So I had a couple years where I kind of battled what was the right and wrong way to handle all that.
Yeah.
But again, with time and consistency, you find out who's really there for you.
I got you.
And that made the difference.
Okay.
So there's not really any baggage that I hold from that part of my life, other than the fact that I do know the example of a father I don't want to be.
Yeah.
And I know the type of father that I do want to be.
I love that.
And
I love that about you guys and you dads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had my best friend went through something similar, and he talks about that same thing, and how he wants to portray being a better father and stuff like that. And I always felt like it's hard because if you guys didn't really have your fathers in your life, how do you become good fathers? You know what I mean? What tools do you have?
Well, and that's a good question, and I think that the answer, I think we kind of heard a little bit about it yesterday, although it wasn't on a father figure topic, but it's kind of going back into that internal arsenal and figuring out, okay, what can I learn from this situation?
Sure.
Even though maybe it's not all my fault or I wasn't the reason it all happened, but what can I take from it?
So
even the absence of a father, I think that there's a lesson to be able to take there, which is, how did it affect you not having him around?
Most definitely. I got you. So. Okay, so then you don't want your kids to feel the same way.
Absolutely.
The neglect and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Now, you know what? Yesterday at the conference, I did hear your speech, which I thought was really great. You know what I mean? I can see you getting emotional up there, and you were trying to keep it together, right?
Trying.
And so, So, something that you brought up is that, you went some time without your kids, though.
I have.
Yeah.
So I have 2 children. My children are 8 and 7.
Okay.
I'll give you a quick rundown.
Sure.
So my family that I built with them was together until 4 and 3.
Okay.
After that, they were with me for about 2 years solid. I love that time. I got to see them every single day.
Totally.
And take care of daycare and all kinds of stuff. Their mother and I decided to try to work some things out after a couple years of separation. And we ended up moving across the country to California because she was in the military.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So we moved out there, and I found myself making some boneheaded mistakes and went to jail. And
I was going to say, yeah.
And
when you said boneheaded mistakes, what were you doing?
So obviously I'm a very emotional person. I make emotional music.
Sure.
I've not always been the best at containing that emotion or handling it the right way.
Oh, so you're fighting.
Yeah.
You were fighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, gotcha, yeah.
I'm not proud of those moments. I'm not proud of that. But again, just like anything else, there's lessons to take away from that.
I got you.
So the experience definitely made me stronger. It made me understand myself more.
Totally.
But definitely don't condone the behavior by any means.
And you know what? And I like that you bring that up too, though, because a lot of the music and why I say that it sticks out to me is because it is, and correct me if I'm wrong, revolves a lot around substance abuse or alcoholism.
It does.
Like the song Rehab.
Yeah.
So is substance abuse and alcohol, stuff like that, is that something that you experience?
It is. It's
okay.
To be honest, it's still something that I struggle with.
Oh, is that right?
Not the substance abuse stuff.
Okay.
I've actually gotten a really good grasp on that. I'm really proud of myself. I've been clean for about 2.5 years.
Good for
now.
you. Congrats.
So substance abuse wise, and addicts will tell me that alcohol is a substance as well, and I do agree with that. But I do have a problem still with coping with my own emotions sometimes, and sometimes I will drink it away.
Is that right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
and that's still something I struggle with, but.
I like that you're open about that though, and so it makes me bears the question though. So when your music is revolving around battling it, or whatever. You know what I mean? Do you think that to the listener it might be somewhat hypocritical? Or?
It definitely could be.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I try to, like, especially when I have the time to talk to people.
Sure.
I don't go, hey, I'm up here and y'all need to get up here.
Yeah.
My music is really there just to say, look, I'm gone through the same things y'all are going through, and I'm still struggling with it, which makes me just like everybody else.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's never from a place of I'm sitting on my throne looking down, telling everybody else how to live their life.
Yeah.
But it could be for those people who don't know me. They could be like, didn't he make a song about dealing with all this? And then I just saw him trash last week.
Well,
you know,
and it's
or
true.
whatever,
Well,
so.
because let me tell you something, and I'll keep it official with you. Like I've had guests on this show like talk about their continuous battle with substance abuse or alcoholism for that matter, and you know, they'll come tell their stories, and I will say not once did they ever say, oh, but I'm clean and I'm holier than thou. They said, I still have an issue and I want everybody to know. So then the episode comes out and they're like, hey, we saw so and so at the bar getting trashed and he was just on your show you know, saying how he doesn't drink anymore. And I was like, well, go watch the fucking episode again.
Right.
Because that's not what he said. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so, yeah.
Well, and I think that's what makes us human. You know, we can understand that certain coping habits are not healthy for us.
Sure.
But until we find positive ways to cope, when things really get tough, sometimes it's hard not to revert back. And I think the mind of an addict understands that as well. So it's, you know, it's like, man, what am I supposed to do? I feel like the weight of the world is crashing down on me. And how do I rid this feeling?
Sure. And so, but like, you know, the substance abuse, how bad were the substances? Can we talk about that?
So my primary substance was marijuana. I smoked a lot of weed for a long time. I found myself in a CPS case right before I got my kids for those 2 years. Yeah. And during the CPS case, I had ventured out into some harder drugs. So you know, cocaine. Sure. I dabbled with meth for about a month or two.
Got you.
Really and truthfully, the thing, it was bad.
Oh, gosh.
The thing that actually steered me away from going down that path was about a month or two into all of it. I woke up one day and I looked in the mirror and I could see my cheekbones.
Oh, wow.
My teeth felt brittle.
Is
you
that
know,
right?
And I looked at myself and I was like, man, I have children.
Yeah.
I do not want my kids to grow up and look at me and be like, oh, dad's a fiend, or dad's a, you know, look at how rugged or rough dad looks because he's been doing all this. So my kids are actually the only reason that I feel that I had the power to fully step away from hard drugs. Okay. Now, at that time, it didn't eliminate smoking weed. I was still using that to numb it away because I would get so blowed I'd be stupid and had no emotions. I didn't care about anything. But, and again, for people who struggle with addiction or struggle finding positive coping habits, you've realized really quick that all that time you spend getting high or trying to like numb it away, you still have to deal with all that stuff.
No, the after effects. Yeah, for sure.
Well, and the minute you get clean, you realize that you didn't fix anything the whole time. And so now, if you thought the weight was heavy in the beginning before you started smoking it away, try to deal with it now that it's all snowballed together. And now you have 20 different problems to handle at one.
Got you. Are you an alcoholic?
I'm not an alcoholic. I've never really drawn to alcohol like that. Like when I was 18 to 20, I was a bartender. I used to get free liquor behind the bar, and so I never really got behind going and paying for alcohol. I didn't like that.
When I was 20, same thing.
But you know, if I go out with my guy friends or whoever on a Friday or Saturday night, I have a couple drinks while I'm out, I will.
But that's what I'm saying though. So like, you know, you mentioned that you like to have some drinks. Okay, cool. But I know that, so in the experience that I had, the alcohol is what triggered the drugs. Do you know what I mean? Not for me, but for the person that I knew. And so, you know, for you, is that the same case with you though? Do you think that sometimes when you're drinking that there's some triggers there? You know what I mean?
I honestly think that I've gotten a handle on the actual like drug substances part of things, because like a lot of my friends still smoke. Yeah. And we'll go and have a few drinks, and they're going out to the car to do whatever. Yeah, and they'll look at me because we've been drinking a little, and they're like, "Oh, Snider, do you want to come?" And I'm like, "No, you know I don't smoke."
What is it called? Yeah. What did you say? You want to what?
You want to come smoke?
Oh, come. I thought you said something else. Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
No, so
no, but like smoking weed, like that's probably not as bad as like going and snorting coke. I mean,
it's definitely not. Yeah. But I am a firm believer that once you kind of open the door up to doing one, you're a little more vulnerable to do
Well, there's smoking weed and then there's being a pothead. Believe me, I know the difference. I've
seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, you know,
I don't have the discipline.
Okay.
So if I'm going to say yes to smoking one blunt tonight, before you know it, I done spent the whole month smoking every single night.
Oh, I see.
So I will snowball it quick.
Okay, so you know that if I just have one is just not enough.
Right, right.
And then that might lead into other things.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna keep chasing it.
So when you stopped your drugs, though, I mean, was that cold turkey or what was that? Because some people. So I watched. You know what I watched? It was the Demi Lovato documentary.
Yeah.
She talked a lot about her abuse, and then she said that she's moderating it down.
Yeah.
Where like, oh, I'm only doing this and this now, but I because I've seen it. Alcohol is a really big trigger for drug addicts. You know what I mean? And so, do you believe in moderation to quit, or like, what was your thing?
I think that if you don't have anybody pressing you, like you have to stop right now, that moderation can be okay, because a lot of drugs do have some sort of withdrawals, when you stop. My personal experience wasn't like that. So when I had made it back from California and I was on paperwork, I thought that I was going to slide under the radar and do my dirt here and there.
Right.
And I got caught. I failed a UA at the probation, and they told me, they were like, look, you're done. If you do this again, we're just going to send you back. You can go back to the streets out there.
Yeah, totally.
So at that point, it was like, look, do I want to get my life back together, or am I going to just keep smoking? And so, it was cold turkey for me.
Oh, wow, okay.
And being somebody who smoked as habitually as I did, it messed with a lot of things for me. It messed with my appetite, my sleep schedule, the ability to handle stress and things like that.
Totally.
And it was like that for probably about 2.5 months after I stopped. Like I would still struggle to go to sleep. I'd be laying there just staring at the ceiling until 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah. But then you're in the music business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that exists in the music business, right? And so you got to go out and stuff like that, and you're in the music business, okay? Yeah. And so, that exists in the music business. It does. You know what I mean? And so you still got to go out, and, people are using it around you. I've been out to the clubs, and I will say, like, I understand everybody does what they do recreationally, and I'm not judging nobody, but I also, because I had a bad experience with things like cocaine and seeing how it affected people and how it affected my relationships with people, like, I don't fuck with it.
Yeah,
I don't even want to play around with the fact that you do it.
I get it.
Do you know what I mean? I don't care to know that you're in the bathroom snorting coke at a quinceañera. Because it bothers me,
right?
Because of the effect that I had. Like, I never used it, but somebody that was dear to me used it. You know what I mean? And so now for me, it's like even the mention of somebody saying, "Oh yeah, I just snorted a line in the bathroom."
Yeah,
like it breaks my heart.
Right.
What is it for you? Especially in your business, because it exists everywhere.
Sometimes it can make me feel like I'm being left out of the crowd or what else is going on. Like, I have a perfect example of this. When you started talking about this, it reminded me. I opened up for Mike Jones over at the Backyard one time, and there were, I think, 6 or 7 other artists on the opening set there, and we all show up, 2-3 hours before the show. We're getting ready, getting merch set up and everything, and we finally all get it all lined up, and every artist that was on that show with me, oh, we're about to go to the back. We're going to smoke. Snider, come on, you coming? And I was like, no, I'm not.
Right.
And
they're
like,
perform rehab. What are you talking about?
Right. And so they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And so then I found myself like, man, I'm hanging out with the rap group, the culture that's here. Sure. But I'm not fully diving into everything that everybody else is. And so, it can make you feel like an outcast a little bit.
I got you, yeah. Which has got to be daunting in itself.
It is, but I'll barter that with the fact that I do feel like I make a different style of music. Yeah. And so that kind of like helps me with that understanding as well. It's like, well, maybe I'm not doing what everybody else is doing, but I'm also not making the music that they're making either.
So you already stand that up.
Right.
Well, listen, Jay Snider, I am so excited to get more into the music talk. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, and first of all, thank you for sharing that with it. And congratulations to you, 2 years clean.
Thank you.
So congratulations to you. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to learn more about how his music is diverse from everybody else's, what his inspirations are, and what's next in his relationship.
Oh, don't go there.
Listen, we'll be right back more with Jay Snider here on The Public Affair. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this exciting episode of The Public Affair. My very, very special guest, up-and-coming music artist, Jay Snider. Now, before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout-out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by Banda's Hauling Service with Julian and Anna Banda. That's right, they rent dump trailers. You fill it up, and they're going to haul it all away. They also do junk removals and tree brush removals and haul cars in and out of town. They're also offering roll-off dumpster services as well for when you guys have those big, giant parties, and you guys need a big dumpster or something like that, or maybe you got some work that you got. Like yes. Yeah, no, it's great. It's perfect. And you want to know what? The car breaks down and you need a tow, he'll come get your ass too. Yeah, he's so reliable, 100% reliable. Make sure you guys save the number on the screen. You're going to absolutely need it. It's a Banda's Hauling Service. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Osiel Penguin Benitez with Funtown RV. He is the best in RV sales. That's right. Penguin works overtime to make sure you and your family are situated and settled in an RV best suited for you. Listen, camping season's around the corner. You know, spring is around the corner. You guys want to go camping, summertime. Get you an RV with Osiel Penguin Benitez. That's right. He's selling toy haulers, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and so much more. Se habla español también. Follow Penguin's cool RV deals and tips on Facebook. So Osiel Penguin Benitez, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, to my girl Myra Rosales with Strike a Post Photography. That's right, a digital photo booth business perfect for parties, private events, corporate events, and so much more. It's fun, it's convenient, it's easy. Don't let your quinceañera, your wedding, your event, or anything go off and you guys don't have no pictures, no nothing. Make sure you guys save the memories with Strike a Post Photography with Myra Rosales. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And make sure you guys book with the number on the screen. Truly appreciate you, girl. All right, guys, we got more. My very, very special guest, Mr. Jay Snider. You know what I thought was cute? Like yesterday, you had asked me how long I was public speaking.
Yeah, yeah.
Were you just enticed by my voice?
I was. I was. It's.
Were you falling in love with me?
A little bit. And
yeah,
I was standing behind you too.
We have those raunchy pictures. Yeah, we do.
Well, good.
Maybe I'll share them as promotional photos.
You should.
Yeah.
You should. Or we just keep them.
I don't want to ruin your. I don't want to ruin your career. That's
You're not gonna ruin my career.
Sure?
I'm very safe and sound in my sexuality.
Is that right?
I will hold a man's leg all day long, and I'm fine with it.
Do you have guys that be in the DMs?
I have had a few guys in the DMs.
And how do you respond?
Are
you down? Like,
no, I'm not down.
We'll just no. You don't have to tell anybody. You're good. Yeah.
Right.
Not, yeah.
Well, no, I'll take this. So, I find it flattering in a lot of ways.
Sure.
In my experience, another man coming into my DMs means that he thinks I'm an attractive person.
Yeah.
And I find that very flattering. But to me, there is a line, and you know, so I'll be your friend. We can be cool. We can go hang out and do whatever.
The gays just don't be caring.
Right.
Like you should get on Grindr.
I probably shouldn't.
No, yeah, you shouldn't because it's like it's hey dick pic. Like it's like we didn't even I don't even know your name.
Right.
And then it's like where's your dick pic? And I'm like I'll be ruined if I show it, right? Because then everybody knows The Public Affair is like I got his photo. Like it's like no way. Listen.
Now in the comments under every episode you post.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
I'd be ruined. Well, no, I don't know. It might do wonders for the show.
You never know.
It might be a give or take. I would be embarrassed for my family. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Drake did it. And it was a great thing.
Yeah, but he's already an established music artist.
Well, you're an established podcast.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, can I get like I feel like we have to do this because I feel like it's appropriate.
Okay.
Can we pay homage? Didn't you guys just lose a label mate?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Can we shout out Markeith?
Yeah. Rest in peace, Markeith. Shout out to Blaine, Reed, everybody else that was involved with the Colin Music Empire. Markeith was a beautiful dude.
Yeah.
And that's inside and out. He was so talented.
Yeah.
So talented. I can say this. I had the privilege to get to know him on a very personal level.
Sure.
Get to know some of the things that make him tick and the things he battles with. And it was an honor. It was an honor to be able to be that close to him. You can't see it right now, but I have his chain.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
During our content shoots, we used to get together, 3 or 4 times a week and shoot content for the weeks. And we would always have change of clothes and jewelries and things like that. I didn't realize that he had left his jewelry with me until yesterday, actually, when I was getting ready for the empowerment conference.
Oh.
And I was going through my jewelry for the show, and I saw it, and I was like, man, I'm wearing this. So I've got a chain with my grandmother's ashes around my neck, and then I've got Markeith around my neck.
Markeith,
well.
yes.
So.
Well, I'm very sorry for y'all's loss. I know that because I do follow the music thing that y'all are all doing, and I know that he was a part of the group that you guys got going on. Not the group, but like the label and all that.
Right,
so,
absolutely.
I definitely just thought, even for a second, if we could just, pay our respects to him.
Absolutely.
And I'd never met him, so I don't know him, but
he was amazing, man. He was. And he was one of those people, you know, and to backdoor and not give too much about his life.
Yeah.
But, you know, the conversation we were just talking about those boundaries, right?
Oh, okay.
You don't cross those boundaries.
Yeah.
He was just such a good person.
Yeah,
like
sure.
there was never any problems in that aspect, you know, as far as boundaries being crossed. He was just a good dude.
Yeah.
And
well, my condolences to you guys and to the family, and you know, again,
absolutely.
A big shout out to Markeith, and you know, may you watch over us, please. Okay, so thank you. I didn't want to get too deep there. Let's talk about your music. Okay. You describe it as alternative hip hop.
I do,
which I like because I never classified you as a rapper.
Right.
I never like, you know, you could sing, but the music is, you know, I feel like it's just more pop feel to it too.
Absolutely.
Oh wait, can we please shout out to Avenue Rage? Your new song with Avenue Rage is out right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Torn, Hurt, Broken, Defeated, featuring Avenue Rage, is available everywhere.
Yes.
Got a full cinematic music video dropped. It was shot by Russell Clay over at Red Sea TV.
Love him.
Directed by him and Blaine the Kid Hennig.
Yes.
So
well, I think that I met Avenue Rage at Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
He was so fine.
Russell, the lead
main
singer.
Oh shit! First of all, what was I doing at Battle of the Bands? Right?
Apparently, looking at the lead singer.
Well, they loved me, which I thought was great. Shout out to the rock community because they really like embraced me. They really did.
Yeah.
But yeah, Avenue Rage, and I was open about this because I had Ignacio on the show, and his band, they actually won Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
But everybody knew Avenue Rage was supposed to win,
right?
Because they had the best crowd interaction. I remember
absolutely.
I was with Orlando Montalongo, who I was inviting on the show at the time, and I was like, "Do you fucking hear that?"
Yeah,
Like, and he was just, and he's so great. Then I didn't even try to slide in his DMs because his wife, is she's just smoking, and I know when I don't stand a chance.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I'm not even gonna try.
I get it.
You know, but yeah, he's so great. I'd like for him to come on the show sometime. Yeah, and I like that song. I like that when you guys did that song.
I was actually I was extremely proud of the way that whole single came out. So originally, Torn, Hurt, Broken, Defeated was not a collab song.
Okay.
That was I wrote that whole song out. Went in the studio with Kid, and the minute we got it recorded, and Kid looked at me and he was like, "This has such like a Linkin Parkish feel to it. Like, you need a rock band in this. We need instruments, guitars, and drummers.
Sure.
And we need screams. And so Blaine reached out to Avenue Rage and made that collab happen.
So great.
And again, shout out to Avenue Rage because that's the first song another artist or band or group has taken of mine and they learned it.
Yeah.
And so before like the song was even mastered and finished, they're back in the booth. And they're singing the hook, and they're doing the, and so
they're professionals,
extremely.
And you know that's what I appreciate about them as well. You know what I mean? Or a lot of the music artists that I mean, because I met some music artists that are not professional. but Avenue Rage, they again, even when I just saw them at the event that I hosted, the Battle of the Bands, they were so sweet to me. They were so nice. You know what I mean? He let me call him hot. You know, it was stuff like that. And you know, and just
major night.
You can tell that, you could tell that they really just knew what they were doing up there. You know what I mean? Super professional. So big shout out to them. And, you know, I hope that y'all single is doing really well because I thought it was really good. And shout out to, your producer too, Kid, because he was trying to get me in the booth, trying to do a song.
You should have gone.
I don't sing.
You should.
I don't sing.
I'll do you a favor. Ask Kid if I can sing.
No, but you want to know what it is? What he does? Like, because like I would love to do like an EP or something. You know what I mean? But so okay, we talked a little bit about this. Like, I'm a podcaster.
Right.
I'm an MC.
Right.
That's what I do. I don't play MC or podcaster. I'm not playing singer. I'm not playing musician. I don't know the first thing about music.
I get that.
Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna just do it. You know what I mean? And then try to be solidified as that. Like,
right.
I love music.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
your music. I love Avenue Rage's music, and I love their lead singer. But but like I'm just like I'm not an artist. You know what I mean? And so that's just my thing. Anyway, okay. So listen, describe your genre though. So you say alternative hip hop, right?
Right.
So how did you even get into that? Like when you started doing music, first of all, when did you start doing music?
So I started making music about 5 years ago.
Okay.
So I'll be 30 March 2nd. So I'm coming up on my 30th birthday.
Yes.
My 25th birthday was when I made the decision that I was actually going to try to be an artist.
Be an artist. Okay.
So I spent about 2.5, 3 years making, for lack of better terms, very stereotypical rap music.
Okay.
I was trying to prove myself to everybody.
Yeah,
and
thank God you didn't stay with that.
Right. And don't mess with Snider because Snider's a a tough guy or whatever, you know. And I was trying to mind my mouth here. I wasn't trying to just cuss all over
no,
your
you
podcast.
can curse. You can say fucking pussy.
Bet.
And,
Okay,
bitch.
I bet.
Yeah.
I can pull it all out of the arsenal.
You can do all that, yeah.
But so I've been making music almost 5 years.
Yeah.
Wasn't until about 2.5 years ago that I really stepped into that alternative hip hop genre.
Okay.
And at one point I called it, you know, emotional hip hop as well, because I do make music that is extremely emotional. Like all of my emotion is in it.
Yeah. I
did actually catch flack from some people of like the emo goth community when I started broadcasting myself that way. They were like, "Well, you don't wear pale makeup and eyeliner and stuff. You can't categorize yourself." Yeah, but like
how stereotypical,
right? Well, and that's I kind of thought that, but you know, we live in a world where you don't ruffle feathers if you don't have to. So
yeah, you have to learn to just shut up.
Yeah,
I told you about that.
Yeah, alternative hip hop.
Learn to pick your battles and when.
Absolutely.
Yesterday wasn't today. Well, I'm just saying, I had something going on yesterday.
You did. But so alternative hip hop seemed to fit more because I grew up on alternative rock, like Blink 182, Nickelback,
right?
Creed,
who we all love and we all know. Yeah,
right. And then I'm a big pop fan, and then obviously Eminem.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the OG rappers and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So alternative hip hop for me is a collaboration of all of those things.
Okay,
so like that's all of my, you know, people that I like to take. Yeah, you know, here and there from
like elements,
right?
And
absolutely,
kind of create your own thing.
Absolutely.
Who would you say are some of your biggest inspirations in music?
Again, I'm a huge Eminem fan.
Right.
But that's been since I was little. I've grown as an artist. I'm actually a big fan of. I don't know if you know who NF is.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes.
NF, I love the fact that...
Isn't he a Christian rapper?
He's transitioned a little bit.
Okay.
I think he can still categorize himself as a Christian
rapper.
But he was a really die-hard Christian rapper.
Right.
But he started making like his big blow up when he started talking about the fact that he battled with anxiety and depression and his substance abuse and what it did to his life and his own like mental illnesses and things like that. But he owned it, and he owned it in a way that was like it had that rough like delivery that Eminem had, right? Which is like, oh, I'm gonna talk crap about everybody.
I got you.
But NF was talking crap about himself
himself. Okay.
And so like I probably have every NF song ever made on my playlist right now.
Okay,
I'm a big fan of him. Definitely like Post Malone. I actually learned that Post Malone was not very well liked in high school.
Okay.
Was considered the weird guy.
Yeah.
But he has just these like real catchy melodic hooks.
Sure. He capitalized off of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Do you think that there's anybody local that you would say that you might be inspired by? Because the music scene here in Waco is just like, it's huge. You know what I mean? So there's so many artists. And again, like I said, I had Jay Snider on the show. So rappers, come in the DMs, please.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
One guy that comes to mind that I could congratulate the growth that I've seen in his music since I started making music would probably be Heath Nash.
Oh, I met him.
Heath Nash.
I met him. I like him.
When I met him, he was making kind of similar music, like this real, I'm a rapper, look at me, I'm hard or whatever, and there's no disrespect intended in me saying what I'm saying. But his last probably 4 or 5 tracks I've heard him drop, they're getting emotional. They're getting very personal.
They are.
And so I do, what's the word I'm looking for? I do look up to him for making that transition.
I like, he just released the song. I can't remember the name of it. Scars. I hate the music video. I'm not going to lie. But the song is amazing.
I'm not going to lie to you. I've got my opinions on the music video too.
I didn't like it. I love Heath. Shout out to you because he found my phone at the Waco Awards, and I know he went through the pictures, and he just doesn't want to say yes. and I might be inviting him on the show too because I do. He's so kind. I met him at the Walmart parking lot or HEB parking lot, one of those two. Yeah, and he thought I was like Oprah Winfrey, right? But he's so kind.
You're kind of the Oprah Winfrey.
Do you think so?
You are.
I hope.
Hold on. Anything on my chin?
I don't know. Looking at us.
Dang it. Dang, I thought I got a car or something.
No. But yeah, I'm very critical. I was on reviews and previews with Prescription.
Right. I saw that.
Shout out to the Private Hip Hop Podcast. And I was criticizing the music videos.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love the songs, but what are y'all doing with these videos?
Yeah. Well, I actually think that's where you that was the first place I sent in. It was Relapse. Was that?
Yes,
video. Yeah.
you did. Yes, because I gave you a shout out.
Absolutely.
Yes, you absolutely
because I watched that podcast. I watched it because
yeah.
you know, not trying to throw dirt on the wound, but the winner of that was going to get a public affair interview.
And the winner hasn't gotten the interview yet, and you did. So how about shut up, all right? And shout out to DK210. Can you hurry up and come on the goddamn show, please? He lives out of town now. Who's phenomenal, by the way. I think he's amazing. But no, I am like, I like a lot of your videos. You know what I mean? Like, I love the one with you and Avenue Rage. You know what I mean? But I feel like, oh God, how do I say this without getting in trouble? I know everybody's learning. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And everybody's just like, okay, I'll tell you this. I'm creating shorts.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
You guys stay tuned. And I told my producer it doesn't need to be overly animated. I hate over animation.
Right.
I don't like it. Because you know how to clip something in there doesn't mean it has to be in there.
Agreed.
Send it back. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
I'm
I said, I like simplicity.
Yeah.
And especially in my music videos. Like, I understand, like, maybe if you're creating something cinematic or,
right.
You're creating something that like a piece. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like theatrical.
Well, and I'll take that statement and I'll backdoor one more time because I don't want the flack from ripping on somebody's music video.
No.
Nash's last music video, the idea behind the shoot and everything, it had that simplistic feel.
Right.
I think it was great. I wasn't a fan of the execution.
Okay, gotcha.
And so that's where I'm at. But the ideology behind it is perfect.
Sure. And again, big shout out to Heath Nash. And listen, shout out to the person that made the. I don't know who made the music video. I don't even know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Don't even say. So, I'm not saying they're a bad music video maker. I'm just saying I don't like that music video. But I'm sure they have other music videos that are fucking phenomenal. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I'm a huge Shakira fan. Some of her music videos I can't fucking stand. You know what I mean? But I love the song. Anyway, before we get in trouble, and shout out to everybody doing their thing. Again, no shade. I'm critical.
Yeah,
that's why they don't let me judge shit because I tell you the truth. You know what I mean? That's
Absolutely.
why I couldn't judge the Battle of the Bands.
Right.
Because when they chose the winner, I was like, over Avenue Rage, you're kidding me, right?
Yeah.
But we just gave it to why?
Why do we do
I'm that person. Like, I'm that person. Like, if I'm like when I was on the radio, if I sucked, they told me I sucked.
Yeah.
And I got better. It's like, you beg to be on the public fair. Anyway. Okay. So
fair enough.
Listen. Okay. So how would you say though? You mentioned that you started off as kind of like the hardcore, whatever rapper. How would you say that your music has evolved sonically? In terms of where you are now, 5 years later.
I just feel like the music that I'm making now holds so much more relatability and so much potential to actually help the people listening to it.
Okay.
As opposed to what it did in the beginning.
Gotcha.
In the beginning, I wasn't helping anybody. Like, people were like, I don't even think you could really turn up to the music that I was making in the beginning. But now, like, I find myself, like, I'll open the DMs and I'll have a woman from across the country telling me that Relapse helped her through, she almost had a breakdown and relapsed into her own stuff. And she listened to that song for however many times.
Isn't that great?
It is.
Yeah.
And I had I have a track called Why that came out. And Why is a very personal thing for me. I actually cover in that song the fact of going to jail at 17, having an illegitimate baby and not knowing how to cope with that, and then being married and the marriage failing, and then having to deal with your kids. So, like, I cover all kinds of topics in that. And I had a guy from out of state reach out, and he was like, did you actually live that, or did you just write it? Are you culture vulturing what you think needs to be out there? And I was like, no, that was my life story. And he proceeded to send me a book about how his life went exactly that same way. And when he heard that song, like, it made him feel like maybe he had a little bit of chance to still be successful because it didn't identify him because he went through all that.
Oh, wow.
So it was.
So all of your music is true.
Very true.
All of your music, and you write your music.
I do.
Yeah, I got you. You would be a really hot country singer. You ever think about that?
I've kind of
country artist, like what's his name? The guy who talks his lyrics. What the fuck? Sam Hunt.
Sam
Hunt. Yeah, you're giving me Sam Hunt vibes.
Okay.
Like, I would play you at Oakley's. Like,
I'm not against making country music. I've actually tried to have collaborative tracks with, like, female country artists, and
Holly Tucker was on the show.
Holly Tucker was actually somebody I talked to about a collaborative track, and shout out to Holly, she's amazing. She actually almost adopted my dog, like,
oh, did she
3
really?
weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I reached out to her and I was talking to her about kind of like the transition I was making in my music. and you know how I love a chance to you know try to work something with her.
Totally.
And full respect to what she's done with her music career, but she was like, I just don't know that my fan base would be ready for a collab like that. And I was like, I get that.
But I like when y'all like I love when artists that, you know what I mean, that don't.
We shouldn't be together, and now.
But then you do. You know what I mean? Then it creates something great. Like, I love Leona Lewis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love her. You know what I mean? Bleeding Love. And then she has a song with fucking Cassidy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Cassidy was at hotels with R. Kelly. You know what I mean? So
I heard, and speaking of that, so Super Bowl just happened, right?
Yeah.
And obviously they showed Taylor Swift 20 times during
Yeah,
the Super Bowl. But Ice Spice was right next to Taylor Swift the whole time. Well, I found out through whatever little articles online or whatever. So Post Malone opened that show. Taylor Swift's about to drop an album. The first song on the album is a Taylor Swift Post Malone track.
Oh.
And then there's a talk about a Taylor Swift Ice Spice track.
There needs to be.
But so on the topic that you're talking about, which is sometimes these artists that are in completely different genres, they do come together and they make something crazy. Make something
amazing. Yeah. So Holly girl, listen to me before I delete your episode. Do a song with Jay Snider. I'm kidding.
Yes.
I'm not going to delete your episode.
He will.
Yeah, but that would be great. Listen, God, you know, I've had the best time, honestly, and this is why I'm so happy that I waited to have you on the show, because I just, you know, I knew that the timing was right now. I congratulate you again on all that you're accomplishing, and I hope that your music career goes far. Again, huge shout out to you in the Waco Empowerment Conference yesterday. I'm so happy that you were highlighted in that aspect.
Thank you.
What can we expect next in your music? Or do we have an album coming out? Are you working on new music? Or
so I have a couple new tracks still stashed in the arsenal right now.
In the arsenal, okay. In the vault.
Yeah, in the vault.
Yeah, in the vault.
Ironically, you know, we touched base on my situation with knowing my biological father, the father who raised me, and stuff like that. The next song dropping is actually called My Father's Son.
Oh, cool.
And My Father's Son goes over all of that. That was something that I really wanted to put out there. Did kind of get into like a little groove of writing more love-based music instead of it always being like sad, boo-hoo, my heart got broke music.
Yeah.
So maybe a couple love songs coming out.
Got you.
But probably right after that followed right back into heartbreak songs.
Is Jay Snider on the market right now?
Jay Snider is on the market right now.
So he's single.
He is.
Ladies, you heard me. Gays, he said no. He said no. Don't even try it. All right. Yeah, but you know, my Hispanic fan base will love a nice little white piece of meat like you.
Jay Snider loves the Hispanic fan.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Yeah, we love us some chicken breast. You good? The unseasoned sessions. We'll call it that. Well, listen, Jay Snider, thank you so much for coming on to the show. Is there anything that you can leave us with? How can we stream your music? How can we find you? How can we follow you if we're interested?
So you can follow my music. You can find my music on all digital streaming platforms. So whether that's Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube, just don't illegally download my music from bad sources. You know,
is that still a thing?
Yeah, I don't know. I bet people can still do that.
Is that still a thing? I didn't know that you could still do that.
But no, you can follow my music anywhere. Jay Snider on all social media platforms as well. Jay Snider Music on TikTok. I try to stay pretty.
You're very active on TikTok.
Try to stay pretty active and
more active than I need to be that active, and I'm not. And
well, so, algorithmically, I mean that's the way to push it.
I just want to go play Tomb Raider Remastered. That's all I want to do right now.
I'm not mad at that. You're a gamer.
Yeah, I am.
We're gaming.
Well, listen, big shout out to you, and again, thank you so much for taking the time to come out on the Public Affair. And you know, when you have the album listening party, I better be invited.
You will.
All right, I better be invited. Well, listen to everybody that tuned into this episode. Thank you guys again so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you guys go follow Jay Snider, all his streaming platforms, all his social media platforms at Jay Snider. Make sure you guys stream his music, especially if you guys are dealing with something similar to what he's dealt with in his past. His music really, really touches you in that aspect.
Absolutely.
You know, for people that are going through a dark period in their time, for people that are battling substance, alcohol abuse, anything of the sorts, Jay Snider's got you. And I think the music is very inspiring, and that's why I really enjoy it. And so, you know, I kept my word. I invited you on the show.
You did.
So don't be talking no more shit.
All right, I'll remove all the Facebook posts.
Please do, yes. All right, thank you guys again. Now, before we go, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by Elite Barbershop with Sid Rodriguez, located on Hewitt Drive. You can call the number on the screen now or download the Squire app to book your appointment. Walk-ins are welcome as well. He also has Marcus Guerrero, Chris Reyes, Santos Cordova, David Rodriguez, Isaac Chavez, Cliff Fletcher, Isai Reyes, and Sam Ceballos over there making you look as snackish as I have. I didn't get to do my hair today. I've been in a rush.
It looks good.
It doesn't look good because Sam Ceballos cut it this time.
It does look good.
Sam Ceballos, yeah, he told me I was gonna get laid. Oh, and I did get laid after that. I can't wait to tell him. Yes. So big shout out to I got laid.
You just told him.
Yeah, I did, Sam. I did. It worked. It worked. Thank you, Elite Barbershop, so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, at Jeffrey Monroe with Pollo Box and Audio, home for all your LED needs, auto accessories, installation of stereos, door speakers, and audio systems. He also specializes in building custom subwoofer enclosures and so much more. Your one-stop shop to get everything done in one roof. Actually, as of the recording of this episode, his episode's out right now, so make sure you guys go take a look at it. It's out today. To Pollo Box and Audio, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair, and of course, to J. Pedo and Poke with Junior Fuentes, Thomas Roberts, and the entire family, providing delicious, savory Japanese crepes and poke bowls. They also have handcrafted Thai rolled ice cream for dessert. That's right. You can choose from a menu item or just create your own because, I like to be in control. You never been to J. Pedo?
I haven't.
You live in Hewitt, right?
I do.
It's one in Hewitt. There's one on Hewitt Drive.
I think I'm going to go right now.
You're going to go right now.
I think I'm going right now.
You're absolutely going to go right now. Just get your own. Just create your own bowl.
Create
your own bowl. Really it's like good. Subway, but it's healthy and it's fresh. I love it, especially after a good workout. And if you just want to go to one closer, there's one in University Park Drive as well. So make sure you guys order on the app. You can download the J Pedo app. I'll send it to you, or just go over there and create your thing. Listen, J Pedo and Poke, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to all of you guys, thank you again so much for tuning in. I've got more on the way. Thank you guys again so much for the love and support, and don't forget to always keep it between us. That's it. Woof. How was that?
I liked it.
Did you like it?
I liked that. That was fun.
Was that the best interview you ever done? Or was
it was.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.